we are. Good. You look very nice. Yep. Yeah, I'm not ready yet, so you don't need to stop talking. All right, everyone. Good evening. I'm Rich Jepson, the board president of U.S. Sailing, and I hope you all enjoyed the great food and service here at the Savannah Yacht Club. I'd especially want to thank Commodore Coomer. Commodore, can you raise your hand? Thank you, sir. Wonderful hospitality. And at some point, we have a little token right in front of me, cleverly disguised as itself. Voila. Okay. Commodore Coomer, thank you for coming up here now that we've sourced the object. Oh, wonderful. That's a pleasure. Come on up here. Thank you, Savannah Yacht Club. Welcome to the Rolex candidates, past Rolex winners, the staff and board members of U.S. Sailing, the flags and directors of our generous host, Rolex leaders and invited guests. Let me also welcome the Master of Ceremonies of the Rolex Yachtsman and Yachtswoman of the Year Award, past U.S. Sailing Board President, Gary Jobson. Gary. Speaking of past presidents, Corey Sertle, Jim Muldoon, and Tom Hubble were kind enough to join us tonight. So before the big event, we have an incredible lineup of U.S. Sailing Award winners before revealing the 23 Rolex Yachtsman and Yachtswoman of the Year Award. We're being live streamed so those who are unable to attend can enjoy the ceremonies along with all of us here today. With that, allow me to present our first award, the Harmon Hawkins Trophy. The Harmon Hawkins Trophy is awarded annually to an individual who has made outstanding contributions over a period of time to the sport of sailing in the field of race administration. The trophy is named after Harmon Hawkins, whose extraordinary involvement in sailing and numerous championships of the appeals, judges, and legal committees brought him many honors and awards, including U.S. Sailing's prestigious Nathaniel G. Hershoff Trophy. In his lifetime, Hawkins served as president of U.S. Sailing, Commodore of Manhasset Bay Yacht Club and Storm Tricycle Club, and president of the Yacht Racing Association of Long Island Sound. The Harmon Hawkins Trophy is presented by the Race Administration Committee and Chair Sandy Grosvenor, out of the country umpiring, and I have the privilege of presenting the award on her behalf. This year's winner has raced and cruised sailboats for over 65 years, including campaigning a 470 in the 76 trials, and has won a variety of regional, national, and North American championships in lasers and J24s. He and his wife have sailed over 30,000 miles in their 50-foot sloop, including 3 Atlantic crossings. In 1990, Dick Rose published an article soliciting suggestions to simplify the racing rules. Our winner responded with a 19-page, single-spaced document of suggested revisions. You know, Dick Rose just loved that. Not long after that, he received a call from Bill Benson asking if he'd come to Chicago for the next Racing Rules Committee meeting. He agreed, and upon arriving found, to his surprise, that he was already a member of the committee. He has served on the Rules Committee for 43 years, and in that time has overseen the publication of 8 rule books and is the original author of more than a dozen rules now in the Racing Rules of Sailing. He's served on multiple World Sailing Working Parties to improve the Mark Room Rule, thank you very much, as well as the World Sailing Team Race Rules Working Party, the Team Race Call Book Working Party, and the Rapid Response Call Working Party. Yikes. He's a national judge, an international umpire, and lives near San Francisco, my digs, where as one friend wrote, he always answers the phone and is never too busy to talk about the rules, do hearings, or go racing. It's my pleasure to present the Harmon Hawkins Trophy to Rob Overton.
Thank you, Rick. Those are very kind comments. And thanks to the Race Management Committee for this award. I know there are hundreds of volunteers out there working, doing a great job in the areas of race management and deserving of recognition. So I'm truly honored to have been selected for the Harmon Hawkins Trophy. It was a great dinner, wasn't it? Thank you. Thanks to the staff at U.S. Sailing and to Savannah Yacht Club for that. It's a really great pleasure to see so many people that in this room that I've worked with, that I've met at various meetings, mainly having to do with the rules, and I've raced with and against. As it happens, I was the junior program committee chairman at Hampton Yacht Club many years ago when Steve Hunt, one of our Rolex nominees, was a junior sailor in the program. I guess learned how to race sailboats there. And then he became an instructor in the program, and then finally I hired him to be the chief and head instructor at that yacht club. And so I sort of bask in his reflected glory. He also raced J24s against me when he was a teenager and I was middle-aged, and I'm not going to tell you how it came out. For all these years in rules and everything, I particularly want to thank my wife Andy and my daughter Lisa for all the support they've given me all these years. And in particular, I want to thank Andy for all of the times and for many, many times when I've sat at the dinner table and introduced a comment by, I think there's something wrong with rule such and such and such and such. And then, I start, boats approaching the mark and so on. And she doesn't cut me off. She actually lets me say what I want to say. And very commonly then has a very good answer to the problem, which I run off to my computer and send an email to everybody to tell them what a great idea I had. And I also, as you say, I've been 40 some odd years on the Racing Rules Committee and chaired it for many years. And actually, I feel a little guilty taking this award because that experience has been so much fun that it really, it just carried itself. And the reason it's fun is the members of that committee, who are just incredible people. And I've loved every minute out there. We meet twice a month for 2 hours, year in and year out, working on the rules. And some of those meetings are contentious, and yet we all remain good friends and respectful of each other. And that's just an incredible situation. And by the way, if you're interested in technical analysis of the rules, you ever look at the rules and say, geez, that isn't written quite right. I've got a better way to do that. Well, We could use some new blood on that committee. So by all means, please drop me a line, and we'll talk about membership on the Racing Rules Committee, because it really is a great experience. Thank you very much.
Okay. For our next award, we have one of the best PROs in the world here to present it. Please give a round of applause to Tom Duggan.
Hi, everybody. My name's Tom Duggan. I'm chairman of race management at US Allen. And that has given me the opportunity and the privilege of presenting this next trophy. You guys probably think that race management is all glory, right? Right? Sailors heaping endless praise on us at every regatta, right? Insisting on buying us drinks after we black flag them, right? Race management groupies waiting for us in hotel lobbies just to see us, right? That's what you see, right? But there's a whole lot of work to it. And the recipient of tonight's St. Petersburg Trophy worked as hard at this as anybody. The St. Petersburg Trophy, I'm going to read now, is emblematic of excellence in race management. It is awarded annually to a local sailing organization for exceptional race management at a specific event. Of the clubs considered for this year's trophies, 3 stood out. They were Toms River Yacht Club for the Lightning North Americans, the Edgewater Yacht Club for the VX1 North Americans, and the Newport Beach Yacht Club for the Baldwin Cup. All fantastic events, run exceedingly well, but the selection committee, after careful consideration, agreed unanimously that one stood out among them. It was a team race, so you'll know who it is. 12 teams of 4 boats each, doing a 4x4 instead of 3x3. Boats supplied and equalized by the organizers. 126 races run in 3 days, and a race area made clean for racing by removing 50 boats and their moorings to ensure the best possible racing in the closest possible proximity to the rotation dock. As always, the ratings and comments of the competitors carry a great deal of weight in the awarding of the St. Petersburg Trophy. The comments from this event refer to the difficulty of the conditions, which were very variable wind directions, very variable wind speeds, periods of no wind at all, and lots of current. Just what you want when you're trying to get over 100 races done on a digital end course while rotating teams through the boats and repairing breakdowns. The race management team was still able to get through its full schedule of round robins and knockout rounds, even responding to a request by the competitors to add more races to the finals so that it could ensure that the best team won. I'd like to read the comments of one competitor. For a club to bring in 30 Harbor 20s, equalize them, change all the sails to Baldwin Cup sails, and declare 50 boats and ground tackles to provide an epic sailing venue for team racing is nearly impossible. Then, running over 100 races with challenging weather and a ripping current easily makes this a top contender for the trophy. From postponing due to no wind to getting back on the water quickly when the wind came in, everything was clearly communicated, races were run efficiently and fairly with multiple adjustments. There was never any confusion, and the course was almost always perfect. The race committee was always on top of it. 200 club members volunteered in the running of this event, making it truly a club effort. That makes this award something that was not won, but earned. Our congratulations to the entire club. The 2023 St. Petersburg Trophy is awarded to the Newport Beach Yacht Club for the Baldwin Cup. Accepting for Newport Beach, Jess Gary, the waterfront director, and Scott Mason, the principal race officer.
All right, no big script tonight on my side because I'm kind of on the other end of the spectrum as the employee at a club that gets such good prestige. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by a lot of awesome race management folks, been in the game from the coaching side, developmental side, seen kids grow, taught the game, and to sit back and get hired at this club 3 years ago and see what it's all about is in the hands of the guy behind me because this is one of his babies. So without further ado, the guy who's really behind the scene, Scott Mason.
Thanks, and Tom, you gave my speech. So, no, I'm not going to talk about me. The race management part's pretty easy. I'm a sailboat racer. You stay on the game, and you just keep the course lined up, and you're never perfect team racing. The run has to be perfect in digital end. The beat's got to be 80-20 is kind of getting bad, but it's still a boat race. What I want to really give kudos out to is he talked about the fact that we've got a 400-yard by 400-yard arena that's not in a national or what's our shipway called? The channel, the main channel. Main channel, we cannot go out and play out there because it's commercial shipping. It's only little party boats, but it's commercial shipping. So we play in this little sandbox. We have people that come in days before, and we clear the mooring field. We used to not clear the moorings, but the moorings were pick balls, and they picked everybody off, and it cost a lot of damage, so we ground all the ground tackle, and we clear all the mooring balls out. And we've got a sandbox that is right against the club. It's a really cool venue. Competitors want to come back. We're changing this year. We're going to a 2v2 team racing. We're at like 18 or 19 teams right now. We want to get to 24. And I've got to learn how to run even more races. And I've run 240 in the Hinman, so 140 in a Baldwin's easy, but 200 in Harbor 20s might be tough. But I'm so grateful to all the volunteers. I think it's all about volunteers. Again, job I do, the job he does, we do it, and we know how to do it. Clearing that mooring field, a gal, Cindy Barnard, whose husband sails stars and son was a top laser competitor trying to go to the games. She supplies housing for like 100 people. That's the stuff it takes to get events done. So to me, the race management part's pretty easy, and we are very grateful to US Sailing. We're very grateful to the competitors for saying that we did a good job, and thank you very much. Cover my face. Put me behind.
Next, I'd like to invite Elizabeth Kratzig up to present the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award. Elizabeth's an 8-time U.S. Sailing team member, a medalist at 2 Women's Match Racing Worlds, and a coach extraordinaire. She was the Green Team co-chair for the 2018 Youth Sailing World Championships, which won the World Sailing 11th Hour Racing Sustainability Award. Please welcome Elizabeth Kratzig.
Well, I'm very pleased to be able to present the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award. And I'm very happy that Kevin's father, Bruce Burnham, and Mary Beth Kelly are here tonight in the audience. So I'd like to point that out. The Kevin Burnham Memorial Award celebrates the spirit of Olympic gold and silver medalist Kevin Burnham, my husband. He was a legend and a hero in the sport of sailing. And while this award is given annually to a competitive racing sailor, the winner is not chosen based on results. That's your Rolex award. Instead, the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award is given to a person who exemplifies Kevin's spirit and embodies the following characteristics: passion, perseverance, persistence, sportsmanship on and off the water, love of the sport, and love of his or her competitors. As a side note, I believe that anybody who embodies these characteristics will be champions, even if it takes 20 years, like it did Kevin. So never give up. This year's award winner began sailing at an early age. He didn't race in any formal racing program. He didn't have a fancy coach, well, besides his dad. He's pretty stellar, but due to some financial constraints, he stayed in local areas for regattas until high school. When the Optimist team trials came to his area, he raced and qualified for a spot on the national team and spots for and invitations to several international regattas. He unfortunately had to decline the invitations because of the expense, which was a hard pill to swallow for a kid who'd put in so much effort. And I'd just like to point out that he qualified for these events as a young kid with an older boat. He had one new sail a year, which he purchased with money he had saved from birthdays and allowances. And I was told that the sail was the most important thing to him, and that the sail lived in his bedroom because he couldn't bear the thought of the sail getting crushed or creased. So he always made sure that he was the best prepared sailor on the course, even if he didn't have the most expensive equipment. In high school, this young man started to skipper Club 420s with his sister, but he really wanted to sail an I-420 due to the complexity and challenge of the boat. So the story that I heard goes, he was halfway through the Orange Bowl Club 420 event, and he was in 15th place in an 82 boat fleet. So his dad made what he thought was a safe bet based on the current scoring. And he said, "Son, I will buy you an I-420 if you finish the Orange Bowl in the top 10 or you win a race." This sailor dug deep and finished 7th overall and only missed winning the last race by half a boat length. So this persistence earned this sailor an old beat-up I-420. The sailor ended up switching from skippering to crewing, which opened up avenues to sail with a variety of people. He went on to medal in the Youth Championships, win the I-420 Nationals, and win a silver medal at the Youth Sailing World Championships. Just last month, this sailor narrowly lost the 470 Olympic trials to a much more experienced team. What most people don't know is that halfway through the last race of the Olympic trials, they were tied in the regatta with the winning team. Experience prevailed, and they finished in second in the trials. Not too bad for a 22, 23-year-old with a short time in the boat. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is a sailor in the podium in the 2028 or 2032 games. But the most important characteristic about this year's winner is love. Like Kevin, this person loves the challenge of sport and competition. He loves sailing. He loves the atmosphere in the boat park, the amazing friendships that sailing has given him, and he always has a genuine smile on his face and make people feel good about themselves. One peer wrote the following about him. "After COVID, I showed up in Miami with the 470, no clue what I was doing. Immediately upon arrival, this person, who had just started campaigning, came over to help me rig and taught me all the 470 systems. I knew right then and there that he was a truly great sportsman and ambassador to our sport. That winter, we battled it out on the water during the day, but then spent late nights swapping stories and talking 470 settings and goals in sailing. And this is the quote I like the best. Being around this person as a competitor, a friend, and a teammate just makes you fall in love with sailing all over again. And this is Kevin. So congratulations to Trevor Bornoth for being this year's recipient of the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award.
Wow, it's such an honor, and EK, thank you for those kind words. It's been a true journey to get to this point where I am in my sailing, and I'm just proud more than anything of what I've accomplished over the past, 12 years that I've been in the sport, which I know in this room it's a pretty short journey that I've been on, and I expect a lot more years to come. But like EK said, I had the privilege of being coached by Kevin for a couple of years in my 420 career. And one story that stands out to me that exemplifies Kevin's passion was, we showed up with this old beater boat like EK talked about, and trust me, it was a beater boat. We had old sails, old masts, whatever, but we were the first ones rigged in the boat park one day, and it was blowing maybe about 20 knots or so. And my sister and I were a pretty small team at the time. I was about half the size I was. And, we were a little bit nervous, but we were ahead of the crowd. We had our jib up already. And any of you guys that know Kevin, when he was coaching, he wanted everyone out there as quick as possible. So he would sit there in his rib on the ramp, just yelling at everyone to get going. And then he saw us with our jib up, and we were already changed, and everyone was running behind. And he pointed at us. He was like, "You two, we're going right now." So we're like, "Yes, sir." Put our boat in the water. And he set the shortest trapezoid reach course that we had ever seen. And he said, "Today, you guys are going to learn how to reach that." And I was like, "Yes, sir, we're on it." And we were a mess. I think we capsized 2 or 3 times, and we got one good reach set out of it. And I still have the videos to this day. I still go through and watch them every now and then. But, I was feeling a little down about myself after that practice, but we came in, and Kevin took my sister and I under his arms like he always would, and he said, "You guys are champions. Keep at this." And I think that exemplifies right there what he taught me in that moment was his passion for the sailing. And, now I'm doing a bit of coaching myself, and I always try and pass that on to the next group of sailors that I'm working with. And I'm truly honored to receive this award tonight, and thank you to my parents, my sisters, and all my good friends out there that have helped me along the way. And also thank you to EK for always supporting me as well and sponsoring this award. Thank you.
All right. Now we've got some more training awards, and a very good friend of mine is here to present. She served with me for, 20 plus years on the training committee, now the education committee. She's a master instructor trainer and one of the most affable human beings on the planet. Please welcome Kim Hapgood.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm very honored to get to make a couple of presentations this evening in honor of some really special people. The first is going to be the Ginny, so the Sail Training Service and Support Award in honor of Virginia Long, longtime training director at U.S. Sailing, honors an individual who unselfishly assists and enables a sailing program or sailing instruction in a supportive role. There are a lot of people out there doing this work day in, day out. So the past recipients and this year's recipient are really emblematic of everything Ginny stood for and the training committee stands for. Recipients of the award are those whose outstanding efforts improve sailing education programs and instruction in the United States. This year's winner has seemingly made it her dual mission to create new sailors while simultaneously improving the level of instructor training in her region. Her sailing school, Longshore Sailing, puts over 1,000 junior sailors and 250 adults annually on the water, with many coming by way of scholarship. Many adults also go on to become instructors at the school and elsewhere. And much of her success is due to the culture that she's really created. As all good leaders do, she's established a staff culture of continuous improvement, collaboration, empowerment, and understanding that accountability and compassion go hand in hand. Her nominator may have put it best when they wrote, "She has helped create a welcoming, supportive, and accessible community for those to not only have fun, but to learn. And she has shown herself to be a shining example of what dedication to the sport of sailing is all about." A lot of common themes in the awards that we've been listening to tonight. Her regional impact has been equally impressive. In 2023 alone, Longshore Sailing School hosted 7 U.S. Sailing Level 1 instructor courses, and she herself taught 13 courses at a variety of venues, all the while running a business. These numbers reflect that some of the highest number of courses hosted by a single IT or taught at any level for U.S. Sailing last year. Sailing programs across Long Island have benefited from being able to send their staff to her venue, and sailing instructors across the country have benefited from having her share her expertise and her experience. However, she will be the first to share that for all that she gives back, she equally benefits from the work she does. In her own words, "I have found that being an instructor trainer helps keep the light alive when it comes to running sailing programs. It really gives a great look into what our next sailing educators are like and how we can best help them. I love being in IT and always learn something new from each course." It's my pleasure to present the 2024 Virginia Long Sail Training Service and Support Award to Jane Pimentel.
I would talk too long if I didn't write something down, so I wrote something down. So first and foremost, I just want to thank my parents. My dad couldn't be here today. They're in Massachusetts. They're from Massachusetts. My mom came down though for the night, so hi, Mom. But go moms. They are single-handedly the best duo out there. I'll bet my life on it, and the most supportive. And they've supported every decision I've made in my career, even when I quit college and bought a sailing school. So you can imagine how supportive that they actually are. 14 years ago, I went to my first NSPS, and I was having a panic attack in my car because I was afraid to go inside because I didn't know anybody. So that was 14 years ago. And 11 years ago, I had a conversation with Kim to my right. And that's when I realized I wanted sailing education to be my life's journey, my goal, everything for me. I realized it's a real job, guys. It's a real job. It's fun too. And I want to thank my partner, Benjamin Ferris, and I want to thank my general manager who's here today, William Coit. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't have the opportunity to travel around the country and be able to join other education programs and kind of see what they're like. And also Longshore Sailing School wouldn't be the same without you too. You guys are a big part of our culture, and all of our staff really respect you, and without our staff, we're nothing. So I just want to thank you for that. Big thanks to US Sailing for this. I'm honored to be the recipient of the Ginny. I've only dreamed about being like the people who get them. And I promise I'll keep pushing the sport forward and do my best to help train future leaders in our sailing community. So thank you so much.
All right, well done. The second award this evening is for the Captain Joe Prosser Award for Excellence in Sailing Instruction. And the Captain Joe Prosser Award was created to recognize the life achievements of the Merchant Marine Academy, KP, first sailing master, Captain C.A. Joe Prosser. Winning organizations embody all characteristics of the award's namesake, namely honor, integrity, and a selfless dedication to the sport. This year's winner is the first two-time recipient of the award, which reflects their consistency and continued excellence in the area of sail training. They boast one of the largest yacht club sailing programs in the Northwest, with over 600 junior sailing program participants and over 70 participants in their adult sailing programs. With programs for children as young as 7, they have created an effective pathway that starts sailors as kids and keeps them into adulthood. Their team of 50-plus instructors supports that pathway, ensuring that students are set up to succeed, regardless of whether they are a new sailor or a veteran. Their junior race team provides youth with the opportunity to reach for competitive success at all levels while developing their athletic skills, leadership, sportsmanship, and a lifelong love for boating. And their program has given rise to numerous generations of successful Pacific Northwest sailors, including multiple Olympic champions. While this year's recipient is a yacht club, their programs are open to the community, and they draw upon the broad base of young sailors that come from their summer sailing school, high school sailing team, and community outreach programs. For their continued success and dedication to high-quality sail training, it is my honor to present the 2023 Captain Prosser Award for Excellence in Sailing Instruction to Seattle Yacht Club. Aaron Timms, come on up. Aaron is going to receive the award on behalf of Seattle Yacht Club.
I'm Erin Timms, and I have one of those children that was transformed by Seattle Yacht Club's program. And Coach Cam would be here this evening, but he's coaching a team at Ilka Midwinters East, which I don't know if any of you heard, there was no wind and no racing today. So I'm really honored on behalf of the staff and members of Seattle Yacht Club to accept this award. And you should all come out to the Northwest. We've got fantastic sailing going on. So come on out and do some sailing with us. So thank you.
Okay, just a couple more awards that I'm going to give out simultaneously, and then we'll get to the big event. The President's Award is an award given at my discretion as the board president to those I believe have made exceptional contributions to the sport and to U.S. sailing. I've had exceptional proximity to these two award winners as they were critical to our support of our athletes and our successful recovery from the challenges in our Olympic department last year. There are a couple of invaluable contributors to the association, especially as volunteer co-leaders of the Olympic effort who performed above and beyond the call of duty this last year, Henry Brower and Sarah Lee Hahn. First, let me talk about Henry. Henry Brower has been one of the most important advisors to me in my role as board president and has been tireless in leading the association through some very difficult times. However, he's receiving the President's Award for the 11 months he put in to lead, support, and oversee the Olympic Department as it stood without a staff leader for that period of time. His list of contributions is impressive and long. Just this last month, in the first of two Olympic sailing trials at Miami Yacht Club, Henry had his 38-foot powerboat trucked from Maine to provide a platform for viewing. He also towed his rib to Miami from Maine with his Ram 1500 and gave the trials volunteers unfettered access to both pieces of very expensive equipment, the rib used as a safety boat and the truck used as a West Marine shuttle truck, I guess you'd call it. Henry's also been incredibly generous, donating substantially and often to the association in support of the team and other initiatives. He has a deep, extensive background and talent in business, leadership, and nonprofit governance and legal. His advice and counsel to me are invaluable. I can't imagine how we would have navigated this last year without his counsel. He's yet to say no to a single request of mine, no matter how difficult or unpleasant the task. Using and improving the search and recruiting model that allowed us to acquire Alan and Heather, as well as many other wonderful new leaders, he championed and participated in a professional international search for a next Olympic leader, and the result, Marcus Lynch, who started January 2nd, was the best we possibly could have hoped for. And now for Sarah. Sarah came to the board as a sailor athlete representative, elected by the sailor athlete community. She also came at a time when she was just starting her professional career, fresh out of grad school, and we had moderate expectations for the level of contribution she'd be able to make. She actually blew those out of the water, especially in the difficult days and months of our Olympic effort, and stood up, taking on a great responsibility on the board. At the time of her volunteering for her leadership role with Olympics, Sarah was holding down a full-time job and volunteering full-time with the board, doing an incredible job as a sailor athlete representative. She further upped her game as an Olympic leader, serving and advising athletes and Olympic staff to keep things even-keeled and moving forward as we approached the Paris Games. Part athlete advocate, part leadership athlete liaison, part den mother to the younger athletes, Sarah was on constant tactical and strategic conversations with staff and board leadership, held towns with U.S. sailing team athletes. She championed the Olympic staff and advocated for them in their department and the athletes they served at a time when we were struggling to adapt. Countless phone calls and meetings with board leadership, Olympic staffers, and athletes kept everyone pulling at their oars in sync and in the same direction. She really leveraged her deep relationship with athletes and coaches to keep the trust high and uncertainty at bay. Also, she was passionate that their voices would be heard by leadership. She handled a difficult role with grace and maturity, serving the athletes and coaches in a way that promoted and rebuilt trust between them and the association. She had a vision of how the athletes must be treated and executed on that brilliantly. Freed them from the burdens so they could focus on competing. Finally, I'm going to offer just a few quotes from our CEO, Alan Ostfield. They were the best partners I could ask for. During a time of challenge for all of us, they jumped right in, never, rarely complained, and were absolutely great teammates. We kept things going in this critical area because of them. Their dedication to the association and the Olympic team was on display daily. Thank goodness for COVID, creating remote work so Sarah could work from home for her real job and work almost full time for the Olympic team. I know this is live stream, so you're so screwed. While this was not an easy time for us, we are better off as an organization for the great work that they did and continue to do to this day as they help Marcus Lynch transition successfully. Please congratulate Henry Brower and Sarah Lehan as winners of the President Award for 2023.
Keeping it short, Rich. I figure that Sarah and I are the only things that stand between all of you and the big show. So, oh, that's the wrong thing. I gotta take the other thing. Well, you know, what happens is when you thank people, you're gonna forget folks. So I hope I don't forget anybody this evening. First of all, Rich, thank you for this incredible honor. I'm honored and I'm humbled. The past year has been both challenging and rewarding. I've enjoyed my partnership with Sarah, an incredible person, great partner. We didn't always agree, but we figured out a way to work through everything, and we understood how we had to separate the tasks at hand, and Rich described those pretty well. Sarah had the relationship with the athletes and the coaches, and with Sally Barkow and the rest of the professional group, so she handled that. And I did a lot of the back office stuff and administrative stuff, which freed her up to do what was so important to support the athletes. We had a special partnership with two other individuals, Alan Ostfield and Heather Monison, who we were on the, I don't know, we spoke almost daily, it seemed at times, and hourly, and late at night and early in the morning when there were crises that we had to deal with. And so their support and commitment to the Olympic athletes is very special, and to the whole program. Without the mutual support and commitment from each of them, the endeavor would never have been successful. Finally, we need to thank Brian Keene, who stepped in as chair of the U.S. Sailing Foundation, and Blaine Pedlow, who was our senior VP of development, who never lost the vision that we'd be able to raise the money we needed to raise to support our athletes in this difficult time. So they are also to be thanked. The teamwork with our professional staff, Sally Barkow, Kate Drummy, and Tina Cardamone, I'm never going to pronounce that correctly, so I need help, was an integral piece of the success of the program, and Sarah really is the one who handled those relationships and kept the morale high with our professional staff. To the end that we look forward to supporting Marcus Lynch as we hand the program off to him. He's an exceptional individual. I hope you all get to meet him in the coming months, but I will say this, I think our Olympic program is in fantastic hands, and we have only looked forward to great success in the future. And finally, a special shout out to all of our athletes and their resilience and focus on working hard and realizing that their job was to go fast.
Don't fall. Okay, guys, look, I got voluntold to do this. I'm going to be real honest. That's like 80% true. But the reality is the Olympic movement has been a part of my DNA since I did my first trials when I was 15 years old, right? I've been at this for a long time. And there is nothing that has been more meaningful in my life than the relationships, the friendships, the good times, the bad times, but most importantly, the character that it builds. And I feel so honored to have been able to serve in this role and to be able to support the athletes that are out there busting their asses day in and day out, going faster and faster every day. I never thought I would be here. I certainly never thought I would be in this role this young in my life, but here we are. And I am really grateful for the opportunity to have had my hand on the tiller for this challenging time. And the most important people I need to thank are Judge Ryan and Maggie Shea, who are other elected athletes on the board and have been integral to successfully navigating some tricky moments. So Judge and Maggie, wherever you are, they're not here tonight, but thank you for all that you've done. We couldn't have done it without you. So all of you guys here, we're excited for Paris. We've got a lot of exciting stuff moving forward. And yeah, America, right?
All right. So please allow me now to turn over the gavel to one of the best-known sailor celebrities, since the advent of television. Not that he's that old, but you know, you get my drift. A member of the National Sailing Hall of Fame, America's Cup veteran, longtime volunteer at U.S. Sailing and World Sailing, graduate of Maritime Academy, book, text, and manual author, sailing coach, historian of our sport, as well as the co-creator of U.S. Sailing's Modern Sail Training Program for Youth in partnership with Timmy Lahr, another luminary. Please welcome your Master of Ceremonies to the awarding of